I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, August the 5th, brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is a proven go-to antibiotic for a broad spectrum of cattle diseases and infections. Widely available without a script. For more information, visit norbrook.com. Texas and Oklahoma outdo Kansas, and I'm not referring to the fact that University of Texas and Oklahoma University have decided to go to the Southeastern Conference. I refuse to root for either one of those schools as they don't have an ag department, so that makes a really hard time for me to root for them. And it's busted up the Big 12, and I don't know what this country's coming to. And Kansas didn't get either of their schools in a bigger conference, and likely your Big 12 is going to be destroyed now. There was a time when you could root for southern feedlot areas against the northern feedlot areas in your Big 12 football, and it was a lot of fun. Everything's just screwed up now. They even got my Missouri Tigers over there in the Southeastern Conference, and they can't compete with the criminals they have there in the Deep South, and it's just gotten really frustrating to even watch the conference championships in the college football. But now I'm referring to the fact that in the feedlot trade, which really kind of took off on Wednesday there, Texas was able to get 122, or Consolidated Beef Producers anyway was able to get 122 for the bulk of their cattle that they sold, and the best that Kansas showed confirmed was 121. Now, we've been thinking that as we go the further north, the bigger the premium is. You get up in Nebraska, they're selling cattle 124, 125. You would think that, just due to freight, that Kansas would be a little bit closer to that. But, likely there was just a little bit of leverage there in Texas, and they were able to get a little bit higher price on the top end of the spread on your trade on Wednesday anyway. But still had some smoky sales in your feeder cattle auctions on Wednesday. We gained a little bit more ground on your cattle futures, and I tell you guys, if you're looking to hedge or contract some stuff for next spring, you need to be kind of doing that, because the uncertainty that this COVID is bringing out, it could all go away in a very, very short time, as big as these daily limit moves are now. And you look at April live cattle futures on Wednesday, they closed over 140. Do you guys really think that fat cattle are going to bring 140 within just a few months out there? I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, we got a buck this week, 1 to 2 bucks, instances $2, and I mean, people are just wondering how in the world we did it. How are we going to get that many dollars without losing a considerable amount and losing the push on there? But I just don't know how in the world we're going to do it. But it looks pretty rosy out there if you guys want to hitch your wagon to it. Let's look at the board on Wednesday. August live cattle futures up 80 cents at 124.05. October up 82 at 128.97. Go on your back months, they were up 22 cents to up 75. August feeder cattle up 30 cents at 159.20. September up 35 at 162.87. Back months on your feeder cattle up 10 to up 75, and corn continues to kind of drift lower. We're assuming that it's going to be somewhere in that middle $5 a bushel range, but on Wednesday your new crop December corn was down another nickel at 5.46 3/4 cents. So it's sure still pulling back, and as dry as it is in some parts in the western part of the Corn Belt, there's places in the eastern part of the Corn Belt said that they've got the best crop they've ever seen in their life. So I don't know how it's all going to mix up, but like I said on our last visit, it's likely going to just kind of languish in that $5 to $6 a bushel range until we start seeing some results of the early harvest there. But your fat cattle trade on Wednesday, Iowa had 4,700 head confirmed on Wednesday, with 9,100 for the week. 123 to 125, which that's a buck higher. Even in the northern plains, dress sales $1 to $2 higher, from 197 to 198. Nebraska, 14,900 head. That's a good move for the way things are, guys, for a one-day move. 19,400 head for the week so far. Live sales from 124 to 125 only, and dress sales from 197 to 198. Kansas, like I mentioned earlier, 5,500 head. That's all they've had for the week, and live sales 121. Now that's still a buck higher, and some dress sales at 198. But Texas, 2,800 head on Wednesday, 3,700 head for the week. And then they had some sales on the online deal there that haven't been all that whippy, but not the best cattle on there. 118 up to 122. And like I said, Consolidated Beef Producers, they're very transparent. They tweet out their sales whenever they make them, and then most of their cattle are at 122, and that'd be $2 higher than last week. Box beef cutout values higher again, and they just keep launching, and your packers are just fighting tooth and nail to keep from giving up a buck out in the feedlots. Meanwhile, they're gaining $3-4 a day on their box beef cutout values. Choice cuts on Wednesday afternoon, $289.34. That was up $3.50. Select $271.15, up $3.66 for the day's move. Your slaughters running at a decent pace, 359,000 through Wednesday. That's 1,000 more than last week, 13,000 more than the same week a year ago. What else is going on? You might want to look at dvauction.com on Thursday night here, Thursday evening. They've got a special cow sale, which they have monthly, at Kingdom City, Missouri, at Callaway Livestock Center. And I talked to Jack Harrison. He said he had about 1,000 head, and he said they were all the nuts. I mean, he said fancy black cows, bred heifers, bred cows, mostly all fall calvers. That's what you need to do, guys, to get out of step of everybody else. If you don't want better demand for your calves at every level, don't fall calve. But they got mostly fall calvers there, and they'll have a good sale there. Don't forget on Saturday, the 7th here, coming up, they've got an evening sale at Ozarks Regional Stockyard, West Plains, Missouri, 5 o'clock. About 1,250 head on offer, and don't forget those 500 head sellout string there. All home-raised cows bred to 44 Farms bulls, and everything that goes along with that. So remember that. You can watch it on dvauction.com also. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market on Wednesday. Real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Wednesday at 154.99, up 17 cents, but still gaining. Look at your big high volume sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 7,000 head, lighter run for them, including what few calves they had on Tuesday. But feeder steers steady to $1 higher, feeder heifers steady to $2 higher. Light tested calves, near steady there, but not a big deal there on the calves, but still selling the yearlings really well. They had a whale of a sale last week, and it's hard to believe that they were, unchanged from that to up just a little bit. Winter livestock, Dodge City, Kansas. This is the start of all their specials this week. They had a good run. They had about 6,000 head when I pulled the report. Might have had a few more from that. Mostly yearling heifers on the Wednesday sale at Dodge City, Kansas. Then they're going to come back in Dodge City on Saturday for the King of the Rings special, and they'll have a big swath of yearling steers, and they're going to be mostly right off the grass. They're local, coming in from west side of the Flint Hills there. And I'm going to be on hand there for the Hall of Fame, or for the King of the Ring sale. Going to help judge the auctioneers. They got 8 of the best in there. I want to tell you guys, I can be bought off, and you guys know my vices, so just make it happen there. But looking forward to being a part of that, and we're going to play some golf on Friday and have a good time. They got the rodeo going on there in Dodge City. But on Thursday, they got the Hall of Fame sale over in Pratt, Winter Livestock in Pratt. And it'll be a humdinger too, and they've got a big swath of yearlings to sell in there. But they kind of featured the yearling heifers in Dodge City on Wednesday, and I looked at the automated market report, and it showed 2,525 head of 7-weight heifers, averaged 758 with a weighted average price of 150.37. Pretty impressive there, and you guys know that turning them out on grass it's as hard to make a heifer weigh 8 as it is a steer to weigh 9. Talked to my friend Ashley Nolan on the western side of no man's land, the Oklahoma Panhandle. I was on the eastern side earlier in the week at Beaver, but at the western side on Wednesday at Texhoma Livestock Exchange, he had a big sale in there, including that 900 head string of yearlings that come from Masterson, Texas, over there by Dumas, where the cattle run out amongst the pump jacks there, and it always is easier to run a ranch when they're in the shadow of a pump jack or a windmill, electric windmill that is. But look at some of the quotes he had out of there. 206 head of 764 pound yearling steers bring 164 and a quarter in Texhoma. 200 head of the same cattle, just a bigger end of them, steers weighed 932 at 150, 250. And then he had another load of 868 pound all black and Charolais cattle from right there at Texhoma, bring 156 and a quarter. But the best quote that I saw anywhere, and your Zach Tran top quote for the day, come out of Green City Livestock Marketing in Green City, Missouri. The Whisker steers there, and look at all these loads of steers in there, but picked out the 2 steers there, 2 loads there in the middle of the big 9-weight steers from 915 to 925 pound loads of steers there, bring 160.50. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.